If you're an estranged parent and your child is no contact, the hardest thing you're going to deal with is how they're going to show you over and over and over in so many ways that they don't love you, they don't miss you, they don't want things to be better, and nothing you do is going to make a difference. All the therapy that you can take and all the reflecting and self-awareness, it's not going to make any difference. I don't see any cases of it ending good. And I wish somebody had told me this 5 years ago. The best thing I could do is move on with my life and just and understand that it's done. You're going to miss so much. And every time it's going to feel like that is the most colossal pain ever. And then there's going to be something else to top it. I feel so bad for the parents who are just starting out in this journey, because you're gonna suffer so much. You're gonna beat yourself up so much. And if you're like a lot of us who have no explanation, you're gonna come up with all the 5 billion reasons that you deserve this. And in the end, it's not going to change any of it. This is not about healing. They can't convince me that this is about healing. This is to hurt somebody. It's to hurt somebody. And they succeeded.
Okay, if I look a little bit like I don't feel so sad for her and that I don't have compassion for her, it's because I've seen a lot of her content. And it's not because I don't feel for her. I do, actually. I think that she's a very wounded person. And I definitely have compassion for her, period. Where it falls apart is that, well, a little bit of a backstory. She has 2 adult children. And she's been on TikTok for forever. And I've oftentimes screen recorded something and then been like, I don't know if I want to cover her. And, I just have had very mixed feelings. But when I saw this today, and I think it's a recent video, I have my phone down here. I just want to check. So maybe that was like last year. I look and she's posting this video of herself having a meltdown with a makeup filter. It seems a little disingenuous to me. If you're keeping it real and raw, why did you need to do that? Like, it just makes me think a little bit about why are you so concerned about your image when you're pouring your heart out? Either you're pouring your heart out or you're concerned about your image. As a content creator on here, I can tell you I spend a lot of time editing, not so much with filters and things like that. I have lighting. I have natural lighting today. I don't use filters and things like that. And it's not that I'm throwing shade on anybody for using the filters. It's just a pattern of behavior that I see. Well, here, look at all of these estranged parents. I'll just flash them as I go along. They use these crazy filters because they're so image driven, and it tells a story of a parent who is concerned about the image, not about the situation, or at least not more about the situation than the image. So with backstory with her, if you ever look through a bunch of her videos, and I don't post names and things like that, but she's out there quite a bit. And if you're on a platform and you're in this community, you've probably seen her. One of the things I'm going to say about her is that I notice that her eyes are glassy like 90% of the videos. Whether that's medication or alcohol, I don't know. There is a video of her on a Christmas that her family thinks is ever so funny, with her falling over the dog and the Christmas tree, and she posted that. And so it makes me wonder, are you an estranged parent because of substance abuse issues? I'm not saying she is, and I'm not doing that because I'm afraid of liability, because I could give a toss about liability. I'm saying that because I'm seeing something that I think a lot of people have observed that have to, it makes me wonder what's going on. And in connecting some other dots, this is why I feel this way. She has 2 adult daughters that she adopted who are both no contact with her. At some point, they did reunite. I don't know if it was an open adoption with their biological mother, whom, as far as I know from videos that I've seen, so I'm not talking present day because I don't watch all this content, they are still, my bangs are too long, they're still I'm in the in-between stage. Anyway, I can't see. They're still in a relationship with her. One of the daughters had a baby recently, and right towards the end of the pregnancy, around baby shower time, the daughter called her and tried to be in a relationship with her again. And it fell apart over something to do, according to her, with the baby shower. And whatever that thing was, she doesn't disclose. It's bits and pieces. It's like we didn't get along over something, or I misread, miscommunicated, showed up or didn't show up, or very, very vague stuff. And what that tells me is that her daughter told her not to do something or gave a boundary or whatever it was, and she crossed it. Is it to do with maybe the I was going to say fact, but I can't state fact here. Is it due to the possibility that she is inebriated or in some way chemically altered? I don't know. I do know what I see. My grandmother walked around with those eyes, and my grandmother was an alcoholic. And I'm not throwing shade on that. I'm not saying I'm not judging her for her possible need to be self-medicated. I'm judging her for coming onto a platform and acting like she's the victim of her children and that they're just doing this to hurt her. That I'm judging. I'm judging her for trying to grab on to other vulnerable parents who are in the beginning of their estrangements, because she usually starts her videos. Well, let me show you how she starts every one of her videos, with the exception of this one. And I shouldn't say everyone. I don't like absolutes. The majority. Here you go.
Are you an estranged parent whose child has gone no contact? Are you an estranged parent whose child has gone no contact? Are you an estranged parent whose child is no contact? Are you an estranged parent whose child is no contact? Are you an estranged parent whose children have gone no contact?
Now she's looking for community, an audience, attention. And that would be fine, except for the fact that she's looking for it from that point of view that so many of these estranged parents who create content on here do, which is they weren't grateful. They're doing this to punish you. They're weaponizing the grandchildren. You don't owe an apology. It's not going to do any good anyway. And boundaries, schmoundaries, and all the things that we see commonly in this language. And for estranged parents out there in the beginning phases of their estrangement, there is hope for repair and reconciliation, more likely than not. I'm a therapist. I work with narcissistic abuse survivors. I work with a lot of people who happen to be estranged, both parents and adult children. Most of my clients are adult children who are estranged, or adult children who have survived narcissistic family systems or been touched by them in some way. Not the majority of my clients are estranged. It's a moving, like that's a moving thing, right? Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less. Sometimes I have people who are all in contact. Sometimes I have people who are in low contact. It's not black and white. And wherever they are is where I meet them. I'm a survivor of a mother who's a sociopath and a narcissist. I have been no contact for well over 30 years. I have 3 adult children who are beautiful and thriving, and I have 2 grandchildren who are also beautiful and thriving. I was an estranged parent at one point in time, about 20 years ago for 2 to 3 years, kind of on and off. Mostly my adult daughter, my oldest child, who I had when I was 17, went no contact from me. And she was also in a relationship with my mother at that time, who I hadn't been in a relationship with for a long time. And that's not why she estranged. Did she have support in not talking to me? 100%. Was there a smear campaign? 100%. Was it because of that? 100% no. It was because she got a very unhealed, emotionally immature mother who had her at 17, didn't enter therapy until I was like 25 or 26, do the math. And there were a lot of things that I could have and should have done better. End of story, or beginning of story, because that accountability allowed that door to stay open, and the foundation of love and the fact that I passed down trauma. I didn't abuse my child or children. And so I know what it looks like to repair a relationship that is damaged in those ways. I know what it looks like to show up and not show up. I know that we don't need to have receipts. We need to validate feelings. I know that how my daughter experienced something may not have been the way I intended it. That doesn't negate her experience. How she felt in those moments is 100% valid. And it was my job to do better because I was the bigger person, and I'm still the bigger person. I'm still the mama. My children have me. I do not have them. And when I see this kind of stuff, and I know that there's estranged parents out there who can have the opportunity to repair their relationships if they look and move in the right direction, this drives me crazy. And that's the part where my compassion for her ends. She does the whole thing. She does a lot of what ex-fired mom, who now calls herself reformed mom. And I'm don't know where I am with that. I'm actually watching some of her content right now. She doesn't block me anymore. She went at me pretty hardcore back in the day. And I'm just kind of watching what's going on. So I haven't covered her for a very good reason. Somebody sent me something, would you cover this or that or the other? And the reason I'm not is because I'm just waiting it out a little bit. I like to be constructive. I'm not out here to create more division. I didn't create the division to begin with. I'm not out here to cause harm. I'm out here actually hoping that we focus more on doing better and healing and less attacking. That being said, when I break these videos down, I'm looking to be constructive. And I think it's important for us all to remember, no matter what reason you have for watching content, if you're looking for help in some capacity, guidance or advice, follow the people that are where you want to be, not the people that are where you are. You know, in some capacity, whatever that looks like. So in other words, if you're an estranged parent and you watch this and you're relating to it, because it is very painful. She is in a very sad situation. However, she doesn't take the ownership of the fact that she is the bigger person, she is the mama, and she created the situation. It's no coincidence that both of her children have gone no contact, and that doesn't happen often. Usually it's one child. It's no coincidence that her daughter opened the door to her and she walked through and she, burned the house down again. It's her behavior. And yeah, she talks about therapy. Well, therapy is only as valuable as you make it. It's only as valuable as what you learn from it. Showing up in an office and moving air around with your voice really doesn't mean a damn thing. And I'm very much of the belief with this particular individual that there are some underlying issues here that are very, very significant. And I do think that they are substance related. So that's my 2 cents. I'm probably not going to cover her again. The whole way she speaks and the butter won't melt in her mouth and the filters and all of that. It just really kind of makes, it does a thing. It makes me snarky sparky. So anybody want me to cover, drop it in the comment section. Don't tag me in their videos because they will block me. And thank you all for being here.